If you'll take a few minutes to set up a blog associated with your business, you'll grow an organic advantage over your competition. It costs you nothing, so you should do this now. There are 5 steps to doing this. My name is John Wiley Spires, and I do a bit of lecturing on small business international trade at colleges. You can find out more on my website listed in the bar below. The first thing you want to do is to create a Google account at their Blogger site. I use Google Blogger because it's the easiest and it's no charge. So you just simply go to Google Blogger as we have here on this page, and it takes you here eventually, but that's where the original website is, and then it goes forward to here and you end up on this page. Now you probably don't have a Google account. If you do, fine, use that. If not, you go down here and you create account. Stay signed in. Let's get rid of that. Create an account, and you put in your name, first and last, and you if you have Google Mail, use that, or you can get yourself a Gmail account for this purpose, or you can use your own email account. They don't care. What you got to do, create a password and then confirm it, and then you go on down, and you can put in birthday and all that kind of stuff if you like, or you don't have to if you don't want to. You can give me your phone number or not. You do have to agree to the Google terms and conditions down here, and you have to, I think it says 8827, you have to put in the 8827 or whatever the number is there, and then you go into next step. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to set up a Google account. I've already got one. So it's as simple as that to set up an account. Now before you set up a Blogger website itself free, with your own name and all that kind of stuff, I want to just show you a couple things about Google that you should know. Google gathers news from all over the world. Anything published anywhere, anyhow, gather that news and then they report it. Then what you can do, once you know that they track news worldwide and report it on their own Google News site, which this website you can set it up as yours if you want and have only the news that you care about. But once you do that and you have a Google account, you can then go and have that news set up any way you want by going to personalizing your Google News. And here's a little video on how to do that, and that's fine and dandy on that website, which you would turn into your landing website. There's a video on how to personalize it, so the only news that shows up on that website is the news that you in particular care about. So that's kind of a handy thing to have there. It's just the only news that you want to hear as opposed to what the hegemon or whoever else wants you to hear. Now once you've got that going, personalized, just think of all that gathering all of the news from around the world on all topics, and Google cataloging it all, and then taking all that news and sorting through it for your own personal purposes. Well, you can go even farther than that with Google, as you can tell them to email you alerts on news that you're most concerned about. Well, this is what most people are concerned about. They want Amazon, Apple, Bitcoin, Tesla, Alibaba. So you can click on these and have those anything reported on these topics for yourself, or you can write in anything you want to have alerts on. So maybe it is trade shows. Now what happens, you're going to create a trade show and it'll start showing you this is the kind of stuff you'll get. Is that what you're getting? Okay, so let's say there's 5 things that you're interested in that you want alerts on. You want to hear all the news on that. Well, what will happen is the thing to do is don't put all 5 things in one alert. Create 5 alerts that you'll put in there. So trade shows, or maybe your interest is in filbert nuts. And then you'll get stuff on, well, filberts and hazelnuts are the same thing. So hazelnuts squeeze profits from sickly orchards. So what happens then is you start getting all the news there is published every day regarding hazelnuts and filberts and all that kind of thing. So and then on the web and in newspaper articles and all that. So whatever information is reported anywhere in the world on your topic, you'll get an email every day listing all of those. So that can be that of course is useful in its own right, because if you happen to be a filbert trader or a nut trader or something else, you're very interested in what's going on in the world regarding that product. So we can go next from there. Here's a website on how Google Alerts work, and then I'm going to reproduce these links on my website, but it shows you how to create them, edit them, customize them, all sorts of other stuff there. Once you've got an alert from the previous page, how to set that up even more. Now, there are videos on each page showing you how to do this, but you set up your Blogger web page, you give it a name of your business, or use your name, or use the name of it yourself. You can call it hazelnut.blogspot.com if you like. It'll tell you if it's already used or not, so come up with something clever. Later you can learn how to monetize your blog page by allowing Google to advertise on it or link to Amazon affiliate programs or for referral income. But this is rarely much money, maybe 20 bucks a month, but that may pay the hosting fees on your regular website. So you can worry about that later, but right now you got to get going creating the content right away. So what you'll then do is go and every day emails will come in with articles, and you'll click on the article and you'll see, oh, here's something nice. This is on I'm wild rice. Well, here's an article on wild rice and the threat to the wild rice farmers in Minnesota. So from that point, we're going to go back and take a look at, once you've set up your website, once you've set up your blog post website, you can either have the blogger as your website. It's flexible enough to create it as your website, or you can have it your own website link to the blog post, and then it's connected one way or the other. But what you do is, after you open it up, the first thing you'll be presented with is how to lay out your website, and you'll have all these options here that you can go through and do that. You'll be able to work off of a template. They'll give you these templates, and then when you click on the template, whatever one you're picking, this is the one what mine looks like, then you can go in there and you've got all these options to move things around and get rid of things and put them on. It's actually quite easy, and again, as I said, there's videos on how to handle all that. Then there's stats, who is looking at your website from where in the world, and there's all sorts of wonderful things you can do there. But the main thing is to start building the content base as soon as possible. So what you do, here's a bunch of drafts I have ready to go at some point, but what you'll do is you'll click here and create a new blog post. I'm going to call this one Endangered Wild Rice. Now what happens is, anytime anybody's interested in wild rice, not only are they getting perhaps information from Google, they're probably getting information. They very well may come to my website to find information on wild rice. So here's an article that's talking about wild rice. So here's the issue. The headwaters of the Mississippi is one of the greatest rivers in the world. I highlight that. I copy it. Native American tribes have opposed the project because it cuts through sacred wild rice beds. Prime Anishinaabe wild rice beds would be right by the pipeline. It's been said $2 billion in property. Okay, so that's interesting stuff. And if you are interested in wild rice, this would be interesting to you, and it's interesting to everybody else in the wild rice field. So you'll say the pipeline projects. I'm going to write whatever I want here. Pipeline projects are threatening wild rice production in USA. And then I'll go, you can take your time and write something better than this, but then what I do is I put it in here. There's the article. Then what I can do is put it in quote, so that turns it into a tight little quote there. Then I go back to the page where I got that, and I copy that link. I highlight that, go link, I put in the link. I now have an article. I would write more than this, but this is just showing you how to do it. I have a link out to another website, It's content on my website regarding the product area that I talk about, that I'm interested in, that I'm trading in. Then the other thing I can do is I can then label this thing in here. Now, why this is international trade data. Now, why I want to have these labels on it is because after I publish something, I'll just save this right now, I don't want to publish this, but after I publish something, then what happens is when they show up as articles on my blog, they will have buried in them, posted in International Trade Seminar. So what happens is that all of the posts that I make every day are sorted out into blog posts. I got 504 on the free market. I got 71 on exceptional press. Then what happens over time is you start to notice what you are most interested in. Then the other thing is back on those what people are reading, back in the statistics on what people are reading, you can get a figure out on what people are interested in, and you can write more on the topics that people are interested in, and then you got sort of an upward spiral as to what people are interested in regarding your topic, which gets more and more people driven to your website by Google, you rising in the Google ratings. With this commentary on industry, you'll have outgoing links and incoming searches with daily new content. All this points to what Google cares about for you to rise in search engine rankings. Now, never buy search engine rankings or search engine optimization. Grow it yourself. The only reliable way to have that is with the organic growth and means like this particular one. There's lots of other ways to do it without paying a dime. This is one of them. Now, here's one more thing to add. Videos. 50% of all Google searches end up on YouTube. Yes, that's right, 50% of them. So create YouTubes for yourself. You can create a YouTube channel again with Google for yourself, and then when you create a YouTube and put it in the YouTube channel, you can link to it, blog here, and then what happens is people will land either on your blog to look at this YouTube, or land on YouTube and go from YouTube to your blog or to your website. And that's why, if you notice down below, I've got my my website listed on the bottom, which is real simple to do nowadays. Learning how to make these videos is very simple, like the one I've created right here. It costs you nothing, and you likely already have all the tech equipment you need to do it yourself. Just search the name of your computer equipment and search term, Dell 5000, and then create YouTube and see what people are doing, how they're doing it with their own Dell 5000. So this is really simple to do. I'm going to put all these URLs in a blog so you can go through these yourself, but you can just start off with the one we started off with, and that is Google Blogger, and then go to Google Alerts and create a Google Alerts and have those emails coming in every day and start building content, and you will have an advantage over your competitors by being the go-to guy when it comes to knowledge about your field. So go ahead and do that. Feel free to email me with any questions. Thank you for paying attention. Take care. Goodbye.